My name's John Havanik, and I own my own construction company, Upper Ridge Inc. And we do residential and light commercial construction. We are in Philadelphia at a project I have on Pine Street, and it's a renovation that we're doing from a 5-apartment unit building to turning it into 5 condos.
How long have you been doing this?
Over 30 years.
30 years.
Over 30 years.
So when you got into this, what was your education?
High school, and I went to a business school for accounting.
Which high school?
Upper Perkiomen High School.
What do you enjoy about this career?
Basically, you're learning every day when you're working in this field.
Have any of your customers ever just showed you gratitude in a cool way?
Yeah, sometimes. What I get out of it is I can step back when I'm done that day or when I'm finished the job and take a look and say, yeah, we did that. And that's probably the most gratifying part of the job.
You just drive by and be like, yeah, we did that. Did that
Exactly.
Yeah. Some of that what's up factor.
Yeah. That's cool.
Good. All right. So what's probably one of the most discouraging things that comes about on the job?
Dealing with all the red tape, all the permitting is probably the most difficult part of it, especially in your larger cities. They just make it extremely difficult. It consumes a lot of time that it really shouldn't. I could spend weeks, even months, getting permits where it should take a week.
And you can't build or anything until you have that permit.
Right. Typically, you shouldn't do anything. There are some things that you can do to make safe structures to make safe, but typically you can't go in there and do any work until you have the permits in hand.
So what happens if you don't? I'm just curious. What happens if say someone notices that you're not to code or you don't have a permit in your building?
Right. Well, typically there's some leeway as far as if you're doing small renovation work that's not requiring electrical, plumbing, or HVAC or anything structural. You can typically go ahead and do that, but if you're involving doing, especially plumbing or structural work, then, if you go in and do it without a permit, and they come and shut your job down, they impose a fine, and then you have to go now get the proper design, engineering, and then apply for the proper permits.
So if I was a kid just getting out of high school and I wanted to get into this field, right? What recommendations would you have? Actually, just for a high school student to get into this field, what kind of things could you say to a high school student that would make them more ready for something like this?
To go right from high school into construction?
Yeah.
Learn your basic math, learn how to communicate. You need to know how to read a tape measure. That's probably the most important thing. If you can't read a tape measure, then you just can't build anything. You can get into some more complicated things such as geometry, your basic geometry, and a little bit of algebra. But a lot of it just being able to put it all together and problem solving. You have to be able to look. You can't just look at the problem, what you have in front of you. Sometimes you got to look 2 or 3 steps ahead to make it work.
Do you notice that a lot of kids nowadays, they get out of school and they might have knowledge in a field, but they can't problem solve? Is that something you've seen?
Yeah, problem solving. Problem solving also comes with experience, but you have to be willing and have an open mind. If you also have to be willing to take positive and negative criticism. That's part of the trade. You got to understand it. It's just part. It's part of working in construction. You're going to get some positive praise. Not a lot. But typically, if you're not getting negative praise, that means you're doing a good job. And it's just about having a good work ethic. should come to work every day, be on time. You know, when you go into a customer's house, treat it like you would want someone coming into your house, and be neat, courteous, and that's about it.
Like what do you wish high school would have provided you more of?
Probably emphasize a little bit more of the basic geometry instead of trying to memorize proofs, actually the applications that are going to work out in real life. Now we're going to test your ability to see how good you are at measuring. The rise is the vertical and the run is the horizontal.